Okay, take two. Let's see if the audio works for this one. Um, Sorry, those of you that are joined us this morning. YouTube is being extra finicky. So let's see if we have sound for this one. Let's see if we get the sound. What's it saying? Yeah, because I just took that one down. There should be another one up. I mean, it says it's live, so we'll rock it. So we'll just wait for everything to kind of get going. So it looks like everything's working now. So let's get started. Now, again, I wanted to say welcome. We'll just do the whole introduction and everything over again. So sorry about that. There were some technical issues on YouTube's end. Upon uploading the little mini video that we did just live a few seconds ago, it said that there were some issues. It said, oops, there was an error. So we're just giving another shot. Now, I wanted to say welcome to our 8th installment of our guided meditation series. And this is just a little weekend thing that you can use to really ultimately free yourself from the suffering, the chaos, the strife that's happened in your life. And the most important thing to think about with everything here is it's an opportunity to let go. It's an opportunity to really gain insight into your life, gain clarity upon your experiences, and ultimately to liberate yourself from all the negativity that you've experienced in your life. Now, one of the biggest things to kind of recognize with everything going on in this world is the most important thing we can do in terms of making this world a better place is to make ourselves better people, because it's the individual that creates the whole. And that's very much how our society operates. We are individual cells amongst this entire living kind of organism, if you want to call it that. And today's meditation, we're going to take the we're going to take the search inward. It's called inward search, but what does that really mean? What does it fully kind of entail, and what's going to be asked of you throughout this process? And the only thing that I'm here to offer you, and to really offer anyone who has the opportunity to listen, is a moment, a simple break, an opportunity to relax, to ease the tension. And through these moments of just kind of relaxation, you can have these profound and intimate moments of experience where you can come to realize every wrongdoing you ever had and to simply digest and let it go. Now, today, like all other days in our meditations, it's a single opportunity, a moment in this time we call now, the present moment, to fully submerge yourself into this inquiry. And to get things started off, really what's going to be asked of you today is ultimately to forgive yourself. I think one thing that kind of arises within everyone's experience is we have this innate habit to kind of hold on. And it may not always really be for our own benefit. It can be holding on to good memories, which kind of hinder future opportunities. And it could be holding on to the negative, which also hinder future opportunities. And with this all being said, it's going to take a lot of, you could say, courage for you to really step into this field, and step into, the own waters of your own inner experience. So one thing that I want to conclude before we get going today is see this as an act of love. See this as, you know, just like giving yourself a big old hug or getting a hug from a loved one, and approach your meditation from that same space that we do when we go to sleep, when we're really, really tired, that same love, that same just relaxation. And in truth, every moment is death, but every moment is also life and birth. For as each current moment ends, a new one is born. And that's kind of how life and time has continued to move in this fashion. So every moment is an opportunity for you to fully let go and realize your true potential, and to live a life without suffering and pain of the past. and to alleviate yourself from the tension of future anxiety. But it's going to take that same perspective as mentioned earlier. It's going to take courage, it's going to take love, and it's going to take forgiveness. So, like usual, make sure you're in a comfortable space. Just make sure that there's nothing really up against the wall or your back's not resting on the wall or anything like that. And simply relax. We're going to start off with the Om chants. And with each tap of the bell, allow yourself to kind of sink deeper and deeper into your relaxation. And as we begin, I will talk you through the whole process. It's you'll be cued on when to simply come back. So at this point, allow yourself to simply relax. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to listen to the Om, and most importantly, listen to the silence in between. Today we take the search inward. How is this different than most of life? Simply look at your experience and existence thus far. Do we not always live as if we're trying to fulfill some desire, some craving, some impulse, or carry out some conditioning we were taught? When we look at life honestly, it's very apparent that most of life is an external search of fulfilling desires, fulfilling impulses and cravings, and running away, leaving a situation for something that appears to be more comfortable. In its very simplicity, we can call this the doer, always having to do something. However, one must look at this sense of constant action, for does this not echo the own state of our internal experience as well? Constantly running from thought to thought to thought. Every instant an emotion arises, we get swept away. And every physical sensation and shout we adhere to and follow blindly and willingly. The problem with expression of life in this fashion comes with the law of inertia. For each moment we invest ourselves into these, we're constantly being brought away. But one must simply look. Who is it that is doing these things? Who is it? What is it that is acting in such fashion? More often not in life, we live our entire existence caught up and swept away in the inertia and momentum of this external surge, surrounding ourselves with people to feel a certain thing, being in a relationship to feel and get certain aspects of love, attention, intimacy, and affection. And as we also see others take the more hard route, difficult route in the sense of physical addiction, where their entire life is swept away by a simple impulse and call of the body. And ever more, especially in today's world, the emotions can govern our mind, can govern how we perceive the world. And through these attachments, we live life constantly being swept away, feeling pleasure, jumping from satisfaction to satisfaction. Constant movement is a simple explanation for how this experience feels. Never having a moment to rest. But again, the question must come into your mind. Well, who is it? What is it that is doing all of these things? And most minds will answer with, well, me. I'm doing that. But is that voice not heard by you? Is that impulse not perceived by you? Is that craving not felt by you? Do you not feel the pull towards certain actions? Do you not feel the push from certain situations? To explain this happening of the mind, look no further than how you act in moments of attention, in moments of distraction. What is it that's aware of awareness, attention, and what is it that is aware of distraction and restlessness? We use examples of two extremes: peace, chaos, love, hate. But what is it that discerns the two, that defines the two, and that observes the two? This is the inward search. To discover, to recognize, what is it within you that decides the good, the bad? What was it influenced by? Where did it learn these definitions? How did it come to define? As discussed before, we must look at the contradictions within our own expression, for they are the more obvious points. Ultimately, you must look at the patterns within your experience. Let go of these conditionings. For when you come to recognize that they do not serve you, that you are being led around through existence by them, only then can you come to the recognition of what you truly are. No matter what happens within your life experience, you must recognize simply the role of choice is always present. But what is it that's choosing? Again and again and again, this question will be asked to you. Who am I? What am I? What's choosing this? This is because it's the most important question. For if you're constantly doing things and taking your search outside of yourself, you're going in the wrong direction. For the true path, the true moments of growth in our life arise when we take our search inwards. Are you willing to let go of yourself, your feelings, your pains? Do not talk of pleasures and satisfactions and desires. I speak upon the negative, for it's the most potential to learn and grow. For when we're happy, we're happy. And when we're in pleasure, we're in pleasure. And one can easily find themselves caught in a fit of hilarity over the smallest thing. But the world of negativity, the world of suffering, that is the most apparent within our experience. Look no further than the instance of one bad thing happening to you in a day and it ruining an entire day, an entire moment filled with opportunities. No matter what happens within your experience, know that you are capable of letting yourself free from all bonds of attachment and pain. But you must be courageous and look. If you have events happening over and over and over and within your experience, you must question why. And ultimately, you must question who, what. Life is the most intimate teacher we have, but its lessons are the most often overlooked. Why is that? We must see this experience, this play of life, as the ultimate playground of expression. And simply put, what happens in your life arises with purpose. Let that settle and rest within you. What happens in your life happens with purpose. Rest assured that you are the artist within your own experience, but you are amongst others within a gallery of unique art. Each of us offers a unique perspective and take on experience. No one's is absolute. The only absolute truth within all experience is the ground, the realm from which it comes from. This aspect of consciousness we call I and me. Yet we overlook and misinterpret this I and claim it to be things such as I am mad, I am happy, I am sad, I am excited. But even in our own expression of speech, the I am supersedes all. So, what is it that senses happiness, that observes sadness? And why do you let yourself get attached to it? These sensations, these phenomena that clearly you observe, but do not consume you. For if they were, you would say, I happy, I sad, as if you are sadness, you are happiness. But in truth, these phenomena, these categorizations of the mind, we call them ourselves, but really, it's only a blanket that we put ourselves underneath. For in truth, it is just I, me-ness, being, pure self. And in such clarity, perceive. With space, look. Where did this come from? I'm here to let you know it's always been present. Today is a moment where you can fully free yourself. And today is filled with these moments and opportunities for liberation. Yet we must each look within our own self to discover and uncover these patterns of inertia. All will be revealed to you if you simply rest in the knowing and reiteration in your own mind of I am, I am. And through repetition of this verbal confirmation, more and more you will notice the tension within yourself relax. You'll notice the doors of opportunity in life begin to open. For you are realigning yourself with what is true in life. Trust these words. The mind, the emotions, and the sensations that you experience are only as real as you give them authority to be real. Just like the itch of a nose, when caught up in distraction, it seemingly vanishes. Just like the tensions of an emotional state can melt away with the touch, the voice, the presence of a loved one. And just like a moment of seriousness can supersede any type of state that causes a hindrance in our mental capacity. Ask anyone who's been in a real situation when they've been under the influence of alcohol and any other drug. All of existence is a play of your approach to it. I say with a laughter because there's no more perfect truth than saying you create your world. You choose to hold on to the pain. But why? Who's choosing to hold on? We often have a close intimacy with what is untrue and unreal in our life because it provides the most comfort. But be strong, be courageous as you always have been, and simply look, for you have the power to fully liberate yourself. But you must do so with love. You must do so out of love. Love for truth, love for what's real, love for yourself, the love of discovery. Allow yourself to let go. Let go of expectation. Let go of judgment. Let go of fear. Let go of these things and those not mentioned out of love. And when I say let go, simply don't resist. Let go of the need to do, as the external search has taught us. Let go of the need to fidget. You don't need to do anything. All I ask is that you sit and simply rest within yourself. The phenomena you may observe in these moments of stillness is simply everything else trying to digest and get itself out of the system. For when you're finally in a tenseless state, the tensions that have been overwhelming you and consuming you can be released and let go. But you must end the external search. Stop filling your life with so many things. Stop filling your life with situations. Not if you haven't learned from everything that's happened. Not if you haven't digested your experiences thus far. And more importantly, most importantly, what good does it do to fill up your bucket if you don't know why you're filling it up? So you too must discover who you are to finally recognize what you're doing. You are consciousness. You are eternal. You are infinite in expression. You are everything and you are nothing. All is you and you are all. These words may mystify, but you can come to know them from experience, the highest form of knowledge. And through your experiential understanding and recognition, life will continue to show what's true and real. When an emotion arises, when a mental state arises, when a physical sensation arises, see it as other. See it like a cloud in the sky, temporary, a simple happening, a natural coming and going. And when this becomes known to you, there's really not much left for me to say or do. Just as the body breathes and operates on its own, so do your emotions and mind. They are no different. They all start within the body. And although these phenomena may appear intimate because they arise within our physical form, see them just as automatic as the body and digest and move. Pay them no attention. Do not repel them away with negativity and confrontation, but simply listen and observe like birds chirping out of a window. The less you are, the more you receive. And only through emptying out your cup can you fully fill yours up with the truth that unites us all. As we come back to the sounds of the bell, allow yourself to carry on this recognition of self. Allow yourself to continue to marinate in this I am, and observe and experience your day with this sense of clarity and space. And that concludes this morning's meditation. I wanted to say thank you for everyone who has joined us this morning. And again, I just wanted to apologize for those that were watching in the very beginning with the first attempt at the YouTube Live, considering there was the audio difficulties with that. Now, I mean, there was a lot of things said. There's always a lot of things said in these. And it's important to really hold on to whatever you felt resonate more within you, because just as the body, and the emotions and mental activity are kind of like those things that happen automatically, so are those which guide us. Those moments of, that really kind of hit me here. That really kind of hit hard. Or those things that kind of give us chills, and especially those things that kind of give us the tense moments of fear, just like, oh no, that's really uncomfortable, or when the mind starts getting really, really chattery and active. So the thing is about life and experience is to always question everything. Look at everything as a detective, as an investigator. What's the cause of this? Why is this here? And hopefully through your own inquiry, you can recognize that when you begin to look at life with this aspect of, really, I guess you would say the speculative mind of always being like, well, what's the real reason behind this? Then, you'll see so many things just start to kind of open up and reveal themselves to you. You'll start to see patterns more. You'll start to see um, well, I guess what's the word for this? You'll start to experience certain moments of just pure relaxation and just pure, just kind of space. Um, and again, you'll also experience what it's like to not be able to express something in words. Uh, honestly, that's probably one of the most common happenings of this line of inquiry and meditation is that you'll come to experience things that can't really be fully defined by words, and you start to understand that there's that higher truth and that higher knowledge than simply things we read about, that there's an experiential aspect to life that we know with such profound certainty that that's true, and it kind of echoes throughout our being in the various different areas. But especially with these types of meditations and these lines of inquiry, the goal is ultimately really to have these things become known to you through your heart. And what I mean by your heart isn't like your emotions. I mean, it's like those moments where you really feel love. It's like when you miss someone and you give them a hug, or you're sad and someone's comforting you, and or when you fall in love and it's just that light, bright, just almost feels like there's light just shining from your chest. It feels, it's radiating, but it's its own source, but it's also its own cause kind of thing, where it's just profound, just clarity and recognition with certain things in life. And that's the beauty of this search. And that's the beauty of when we kind of stop filling our life with so much stuff. Um, and we really just take that search inward and we start to question, well, what is it that interprets life this way? Who am I? What is this? And all I can tell you is it's worth it. I mean, there's we've heard the sales pitch technically throughout most of human existence. We see it as this term called enlightenment. We see it as this term of awakening and spiritual awakening. But I really just like to say it as, you see things for what they really are. And I think that's always it's been the terminology that's been used for spiritual awakening, is that you almost wake up from a dream. And it's just like everything else you do in life. You've had moments where you've thought you've known something. Oh my gosh. You have you have moments where you think you know something with such absolute and concrete knowing, and then, something happens and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I don't know that." But most people unfortunately kind of take that, you can see it as the external search itself. It actually summarizes perfectly down to it, where you have, a moment and you take something. And from there, this is that knowledge. You take that knowledge and you completely let go of the old knowledge, and you're kind of just jumping ship. You're jumping from one thing to another thing. And that's so often how life is experienced, is that we're always going from one thing to another, this to another, this to another, this to another, jumping from craze to craze. And again, one of the big points of this meditation today is to question, well, who is it that's jumping? Who is it that's letting go and choosing to hold on to this knowledge? What is it? And that's the area where your life can really open up, when you essentially have the courage just to look at yourself honestly without judgment. Um, but again, it's in that loving fashion where you just want to know. It's not to destroy an old ideology. It's not to destroy an old self. It's not to destroy this and this. Um, it's really just to know what's real. Because if you were being lied to your entire life, you'd want to know the truth, right? For those of you that grew up with Christmas, what was it like when you discovered Santa wasn't real? You know, um, I remember myself, I kind of just questioned other things. I was just like, well, if that's not real, then what else isn't real? And then I kind of put two and two together and was just like, oh, well, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, what the, it was almost like a mini red pill in my childhood. Uh, it's a Matrix joke for those of you that didn't get it. Um, but I think that's something that was really profound in everyone's life, is that we have these moments where we know something with certainty and then we don't know it. And what I'm here to kind of put out there is, what if your entire experience is just like that? What if your life right now is just like that? That you think you're living this world and you think you're living this experience and existence out in one way, but in truth, you're way off the mark. How would you feel? Now, the mind tends to get very uncomfortable and tension filled when things like that arise. But again, is that really you? Or is that just you listening and allowing yourself to get hyped up by the thoughts of mind? You know? And I think that's one of the things that can be the most um, uplifting advice for anyone upon this search is when you start to look at the tools that we're given in life. You're given a body, you're given emotions to kind of sense others, you're given the mind to kind of problem solve. You must look at a point in your life is, are you being controlled by these three things, or are you the one controlling them? And that can lead you to a very rewarding place if you are honest about it. It doesn't do anything in this path if you're going to lie to yourself, because you're kind of the problem, but you're also the solution here with everything. And that's kind of where the accountability and the courage come from, because you must seek to know. And this is to let go of the bad, but it's also to let go of the good that comes with the stuff that that causes you pain and suffering. Because really, only when you know something fully um, can you properly cultivate it, right? If you don't really know the rules of fire and the safety that goes with building a fire, you can't build one that can be safe, meaning that though you can feel its warmth, you can also be burned by it. And that's kind of where I'm getting at in terms of when you understand these tendencies and you understand the tool of the body and the mind. Um, One of the biggest words that I've ever heard from, one of the many people I've listened to has been, your mind is not your friend yet. And I came to realize that as not only the mind, but it's the mind, the emotions, and the body. They don't serve you yet. You're under the illusion and delusion that they do. But look at your own existence. Do you not get pain? Do you not suffer? Do you not have these moments of ups and downs? Now, when I say that you'll be free, ultimately free from your suffering, it doesn't mean painful things and negative and positive things won't happen in your life. They will. But it's the you that's interpreting and perceiving them that changes. And that's all the difference. And that's really the finest subtleties and differences here with what I'm teaching. And what I'm really trying to point you towards today is that your approach is everything. Um, if you feel like you can't let go and you're always going to be hurt and you're always going to play the victim card, then guess what? You're always going to be hurt and you're always going to feel like you're the victim. And it's the same thing like those who have the confidence that say, yeah, I can do that. I can do this. You know, you can do it. Does that mean you're always doing the right thing? No. So each of us are unique in that sense, and we all have our own hurdles and obstacles in this venture, but it's you that's riding the ship. And it's you that's also playing the same sad sob story over and over again. But it's also you that can write the new story. So it's really, what are you? Who are you? What is it that's doing all of this? What is it that's suffering? What is it that's happy? What is it that's sad, et cetera, et cetera? And when you discover this, you discover everything. I rest assured that you discover everything. But you have to figure it out on your own. You have to find it out on your own. Words don't do much, but experience can show everything. Now, what happens when you're a person who's been pained and those who have wronged you? Well, realize that you're holding on to your pain because not everyone's like them. When you have a moment of doubt and pessimism, you're holding on to the past. You're holding on to a past failure. You're holding on to a past success. And even those who, strut into situations like, oh yeah, I got this. I know this. you're also holding on to past successes and good moments because you're not really just allowing yourself to be open. And really that's the main name of the game, is just openness. Just be, you perceive everything already openly without discrimination or discernment. You just observe it. And the more you resist what you're perceiving and experiencing with, especially in meditation, the more you're overlooking what life is trying to show you. So if you are going under this meditation more and more, and you're kind of continuing this inward path, and you have these moments of real tension and anxiety, and you have moments of distraction and things, question them. Look at them honestly. Why do they keep happening? Why do you let yourself get carried away by them? Why this? Why that? Like, the inward path is all about inquiry. And when you really discern, the voices that are coming at you from your own true voice, the one you're choosing to say things, then right there and then, urge, I got to go to the bathroom, and goes, oh, I'm going to explode this, and it just starts running off on its own tangents. Now, where does the truth end and the imagination begin? So if you're able to look at all these things, and you've listened, and you've truly just kind of heard what I've been saying, every meditation I've done is enough information for someone to gain an awakening or enlightenment or whatever it is, because these opportunities for greatness lie. They arise within every moment. Every moment is a new moment, because even right now, the past is already gone. The past has died and a new moment has been birthed. So don't give up in this search. Literally, you never know. And more often than not, the real insights happen when you least expect them. It's more so the meditation is just getting you in that position where you can relax and digest and let life kind of happen. So, other than that, I hope you guys all had a great meditation. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will catch you guys later. Bye, everyone. Thanks for